You know when you're walking down the street, you see a lid like this. Have you ever actually stopped and wondered what's going on underneath? It's really just the tip of the iceberg of this vast, totally hidden system that brings life's most essential resource right to your doorstep. But have you ever really thought about the incredible journey that water takes to get to you? Let's trace it back. We're about to pull back the curtain on the invisible journey water takes, from, way up in a rain cloud all the way to your tap. And as we're about to see, the reality of that journey is probably not at all what you think. Okay, so first things first, we've got to wrap our heads around the scale of the challenge. I mean, we call Earth the blue planet, right? Which makes it super easy to think of water as this unlimited, endless resource. But the reality? Well, it's much, much different. I mean, look at this breakdown. We think of Earth as a water world, but a mind-blowing 97% of all that water is saltwater in our oceans. That leaves just a tiny, tiny 3% as fresh water, the stuff we actually need to live. But here's where the story gets even crazier. Let's zoom in on that little 3%. Almost 70% of that is totally locked away in glaciers and ice caps. Another 30% is deep underground. So that leaves just, get this, 0.3% as easily accessible surface water in our lakes and rivers. So the main takeaway here is the water we can actually use is incredibly, incredibly scarce. So who's using all this precious stuff? My first thought was, well, us, right? People at home. But nope, not even close. The two biggest users by a long shot are power generation and crop irrigation. Together, they make up almost 80% of all freshwater use. Our homes? We're way down the list, less than 10%. Okay, so if most of the water isn't even used at home, how does it get to us in the first place? Well, it's this massive feat of engineering that's pretty much invisible, running right under our feet every single day. It all happens underground. Think of these huge pipes called water mains, like underground rivers. They carry treated water for miles and miles from reservoirs or treatment plants. Then, a smaller service pipe branches off from that main, runs under your street, and connects directly to your building, bringing that clean, pressurized water right to you. And this whole problem of managing water is ancient. We're talking 3,000 years ago, the Minoans were using underground pipes. Then you had the Romans with their absolutely incredible aqueducts. But the real game changer for our health was in 1854 when Dr. John Snow proved that a single contaminated water pump was the source of a massive cholera outbreak in London. That discovery basically revolutionized modern sanitation. So the water has made this epic journey all the way to your property line. But its trip isn't over yet. Now it enters the hidden network of pipes that are literally running all through your walls. Now, this next part is so important for our health and safety. Your home actually has two completely separate plumbing systems. The supply system brings clean, pressurized water in. The other one, the drain, waste, and vent system, or DWV, uses gravity to take all the used water and waste safely out. And the golden rule is they must never, ever mix. And the materials for these systems, wow, have they evolved. For centuries, plumbing meant these super heavy, corrosive pipes made of cast iron or even lead. Just compare that to the modern PEX tubing you see here. It's flexible, it's way easier to install, and it even saves energy by getting hot water to your faucet faster. So the clean water finally arrives at our sinks, our showers, and our toilets. But where does it actually all go? The breakdown of our daily use is, for me, one of the most eye-opening parts of this entire story. I was going through the source material, and this one quote just jumped right off the page. It says that toilets should be the primary focus for saving water in the home. Let's see exactly why. And here it is. This is the big aha moment. This chart just lays it all out. Look at that. Toilets are the single biggest user at almost 27%. And right behind them, clothes washers at nearly 22%. If you just add those two things together, flushing and laundry, that's almost half of all the water we use inside our homes. Wild. But hang on, look at this number, almost 14%. What in the world is that? It's leaks. Just simple, quiet, wasteful leaks. It is the fifth biggest category of water use in our homes, and it is 100% pure waste. And if you want to put that 14% into perspective, think about this. A single faucet, just dripping one little drop per second, can waste over 3,000 gallons of perfectly good treated water in a single year.
That is a staggering amount of water just dripping away.
Okay, so this brings us to the final and, honestly, the most important part. Knowing all of this, what can we actually do about it? How can smart design and just a few simple actions make a real difference? First, we have to think a little bigger than just our own tap. I had never really thought about this, but look at the embodied water in all these everyday materials. To produce just 1 ton of plastic, it takes nearly 350,000 gallons of water. It just goes to show you that our choices as consumers have this huge hidden water footprint.
So, what can you do, like, today? It really comes down to 3 simple things. First, hunt down and fix those leaks to get that 14% of wasted water back. Second, install modern water-efficient fixtures. And third, just tweak some habits, like only washing full loads of laundry. These small changes really do add up to huge savings.
And this quote from the source text really just gets to the heart of it all. As David Lee Smith says, none of us can solve the global water crisis by ourselves, but we all have a role to play, both in our personal lives and our professional ones, to make some kind of contribution. Ultimately, everything we've talked about comes down to this one simple fact. Water isn't really a renewable resource, it's a recyclable one. The total amount of water on Earth is fixed. It's all we've got. It's the same water that was here millions of years ago. So the real question for all of us is, knowing its incredible journey and just how precious it is, how will we choose to use it?